Hey, music fans. Uh, Today is Monday. It's September 26th. And I've been wanting to do an upgrade on my Steely Dan collection because there are a few cool items in there, some cool new ones. So, here, hold on. So I'm gonna try to blow through that. And this is just my vinyl collection. I'm not gonna do the CDs tonight. It's a big collection, big vinyl collection. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get to it right away. And again, I'm just showing you what I have. So, you know, and first of all, I'm showing you a re-release or repress of the soundtrack for "You Gotta Walk It Like You Talk It," or "You'll Lose That Beat." So this is actually the first thing that Donald Fagen and Walter Becker did with Denny Diaz. I believe it was 71. Yeah, 1971. It was is when the original soundtrack came out, and this is before they were really Steely Dan. All right, so this is a re-release on Visa Records from 1978. After Steely Dan was humongous. And of course, it's just a re-release on Visa, on the Visa record label, which is associated with Passport. Yeah, it's cool that they got the license to put this out so that I didn't have to pay a lot of money for a soundtrack it's got some good music on it. It's not great, but yeah, it's their first collection of released music, so just cool. Oh, here's the here's the cover. All right, I guess I showed you this enough, right? All right, so see, it actually comes with a free film. You get a copy of the movie, and then you actually get an insert with, you know, discusses the history, I guess, of this whole thing, and you actually get the lyrics on the flip side on this Visa re-release. So it's kind of nice. I don't know if the original has that. The original cover looks extremely, I mean, it's totally different. Looks like something Cal Schenkel, I think, may have drawn or something. It's got some characters, some like cartoon characters. But anyway, there actually are a few cool tunes on here, man. And it's definitely of interest to people who like early Steely Dan, because that's what you're talking about here. All right, so there's one or two tunes that almost sound like they could be an outtake from their first album, Can't Buy a Thrill. So anyway, this is from, like I said, 71, and about a year before they released Can't Buy a Thrill. All right, this is a beautiful, I mean, I love this album so much. You know, Do It Again and Reelin' in the Years are classics. They're FM staples, you know. It sounds cliche to say it, but it's true. And this is actually a really cool and very special pressing, because it is a promotional copy of the album, and it's in beautiful condition, in beautiful shape, really clean. There's no way that any radio station had this, because there's no stamps on the label, and there's no wear to it. It's really really crystal clear, really clean, you know. Here's side B. All right, and it actually have the original ABC Dunhill Records inner sleeve. So I don't know if this is a first pressing. All I know is it's got to be, well, I guess it's got to be an early pressing because it's a promotional copy. So I know there are a couple of different versions of promotional, pressings. There's a few different pressings. So, but anyway, you get this, and you get, of course, this nice gatefold sleeve. My daughter is texting me. Here you go. It is, here's the band, and here are the lyrics at the bottom here. I don't know if that's actually wear and tear. I don't think it is. That line at the bottom. No, it's not. All right. No ring wear. I just take care of the damn things, All right, and there you go. You got a little text there to talk about, credits, the track listing, and you get a blurb to sell you the album. All right, so there you go. And let's put it away. God, I feel very fortunate to have a copy, a really nice, beautiful pressing of a promotional copy of that. So I'm real happy with that. Right here is, you know how I like to do things. Keep it in chronological order of when the things were recorded. So this is actually Becker and Fagan, the early years. This is probably the first, or at least an early pressing of some early outtakes. I would guess that most of these are just demos before they even recorded the stuff that's on Can't Buy a Thrill. I'm guessing that that's what's going on here. But most of these are complete recordings, with drums and bass, keyboards, and percussion and vocals. I mean, it's like they're pretty much completed songs, like Brain Tap's Shuffle, Come Back Baby, and Don't Let Me In, I think are three actually pretty good tunes. I don't have a problem with any of these. Old Regime's cool. Keith Thomas sings Old Regime. Brooklyn, a version of Brooklyn, I think it's a slower version with Donald Fagen on the lead vocals, and that's kind of nice. Actually, that's real nice. So the whole first side is actually really great. Second side's got some cool stuff too. But so this is some outtakes, probably around the same time or maybe earlier than what was recorded on Can't Buy a Thrill. And this is on Arrow Records. Arrow. A-E-R-O. And decent clean pressing. Some of the recordings are, like when they're fading out, you can hear it lose fidelity in the fade out. So I don't, but the songs themselves aren't bad for the most part, and it seems kind of like a cool companion piece to Can't Buy a Thrill, maybe. I'm not so critical. I actually like a lot of the material on here. I have a feeling that Becker and Fagan weren't real big fans of this album, and they probably really weren't happy that it came out. But I dig it. I like the music on, most of the music on there, I actually like it. So, all right. Let's keep up the pace. Here is their second album, Countdown to Ecstasy. And it was a great album. I remember the last time, when I did the video last time, my album cover was falling apart, but it has since been glued back together, so it now behaves the way an album cover is supposed to behave. It doesn't fall apart. All right, and here is here's the album. I have a feeling that these pressings with that yellow and red and purple label, this is probably a later pressing. And I think I actually may have picked this up secondhand, but boy, it's so clean and so quiet. It's beautiful. And this is definitely a favorite of mine. With Bodhisattva, Razor Boy, excellent song. Boston Rag is one of my favorites. And Your Gold Teeth closes side one. And then Showbiz Kids. I love Showbiz Kids. I think that is such a great tune. My Old School, Pearl of the Quarter, and King of the World. These guys, great, man. This came with a lyric sheet. All right, which is always great, so you know what the hell they're singing about. If you can't hear it, you know you can read it. And sometimes it's fun to sing along. Yeah, this is in beautiful condition, domestic copy. Yeah, this is great. Yeah. So here's their sophomore effort, and it's a good one. A lot of good material on here. These guys were super critical of their own stuff. They were their own worst critics, like everybody is, you know. But that is a great album. And here is album number 3, Pretzel Logic. Another beautiful gatefold sleeve. Here, look at that. I think that was taken right in Central Park in New York somewhere, I believe. That's correct. All right, here's the gang. They look like they're melting. This is great, though. Ricky Don't Lose That Number to start it off. God, I remember when that song was a hit. I remember when it was out and it was a hit, and wow, I loved it. I love that tune. Night by Night, Any Major Dude Will Tell You, Barrytown, East Street, East St. Louis, Toodaloo, Parker's Band, Through with Buzz, Pretzel Logic, With a Gun, Charlie Freak, and Monkey in Your Soul. So you got a couple of hits. And yeah, it's a good album. Sheesh. And this is an earlier, looks like an earlier pressing, but it's in great shape. Again, I was no slouch when it came to caring for my record collection. This one was really special to me. I mean, you know, Donald Fagen was a big fan of Gene Shepard out of WOR New York, out of New York, on AM radio. Gene Shepard, of all people. So there you go, man. Gives you an idea where he was coming from. If you don't know Gene Shepard, just look up on YouTube. Look up Gene Shepard. Gene Shepard's the guy who did that movie, A Christmas Story. But he used to tell stories out of WOR New York. He would have a show on at night, like I guess Friday nights or Saturday nights. I think it shifted around a few times. And it would be about 45 minutes long, give or take. And he would just tell stories. And the way that he would tell a story, it would just unravel. And it was hysterical. The guy had a technique that was absolutely brilliant. One of the best storytellers ever. Not only that, he used to play a lot of music. Like he used to play the jaw harp or the Jew's harp and the nose flute. He used to play along with different tunes. And a lot of times he would do live commercials, and sometimes they were hysterical. So Gene Shepard, man, check it out. Meanwhile, this is a great album. I almost forgot what I was doing. Gene Shepard, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? So, here's their fourth album. They did have some issues with when they were recording this album, some technical issues that I'm not real clear on, but they ended up with a good album anyway, somehow, even if there might be technical issues with it. Right, here you go. Here's the cover. Here's the back. They talk about their some technical stuff in here. And I think they actually, maybe that's why they put these technical things here, is because they had issues, technical issues. I don't see them saying, oh, we screwed up and this is bad. So I can't remember what the technical issues were, but anyway, I mean, this is a great album. Black Friday, Bad Sneakers, Rose Darling, Daddy Don't Live in That New York City No More, and of course, Dr. Wu. One of my favorite Steely Dan songs ever is Dr. Wu. And I managed to learn how to play it on a piano well enough to get through the song. So if you want to look at my YouTube channel, if you go down, further down from here, you can find a copy. You can find that performance. I think I made it public. I don't think it's just a link. If it's just a link, I'll make it public. Okay, there you go. Oh, I think actually it's actually I used a cappella. So there's piano, and there are 2 vocal parts. All right, so there you go. And then, of course, side 2, Everyone's Gone to the Movies, Your Gold Teeth 2. What a great tune that is. Chain Lightning, what a great song that is. Any World That I'm Welcome To, and Throw Back the Little Ones. Yeah, this is full of really great music. Jeff Porcaro on drums. Gary Katz on producer, I should say. And it looks like Roger Nichols was the engineer. That's right. Mike McDonald's on here too. So, and Denny Diaz. So there you go. This is a great album. It looks like it may be a later pressing, or maybe they were using this. Maybe they were using that type of label in 75. Is that when this was? 75? Yes. But the album is in beautiful condition, in great shape. Look, you can eat off of it. Sometimes I like maybe a salad or some spaghetti. You never know. You never know. And this one comes with a lyric insert. Well, actually, you're supposed to put your album in here, but, you know me with those polyline sleeves, right? And then here she is, There's the liar right there. All right. Katie lied. I love my Dan collection. I really love my Steely Dan collection. I love it. It's freaking amazing. Here is the Royal Scam. This is a Canadian pressing, I believe. Oh, actually, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it sure is. It is manufactured and distributed by blah, blah, blah of Canada. And so, cool. That's a cool cover, man. Poor guy's got a hole in his shoe. So, yeah, this is a Canadian pressing. It comes with, words. There you go. Here's the two of them. The key, the principal players, the principal songwriters, and this particular album is in yellow vinyl. In Canada, they were doing this a lot in the 70s. There you go. And this album is in great shape as well. Look, they're all in great shape, so I'm done saying that. Just trust me. They're in great shape. What's the matter for you? Kid Charlemagne, The Caves of Altamira. Don't Take Me Alive. What a great song. Sign-In Stranger. Great. The Fez. Great. Green Earrings. Great. Haitian Divorce. Excellent. Everything You Did and The Royal Scam. The title track. The title track alone is a good reason to get this album, but there's so much good music on here. So just buy it. If you don't have this and you're a Steely Dan fan, what? That don't make no sense. All right, so The Royal Scam. Now, back in 1977, they ended up releasing this 4-song EP. And the reason to get this is for Dallas and Sail the Waterway, the two songs that were released as a single before they put out Can't Buy a Thrill. And then they tried to recall the single because they felt that it didn't represent their sound. But thankfully, they released this and put those two songs. They're mono versions of the songs, but they're nice and clear. You can hear what the heck's going on. And there they are. All right, so you get Do It Again from Can't Buy a Thrill, and you get Haitian Divorce. I'm butchering that, ain't I? Haitian Divorce. Haitian Divorce. All right, and there you go. He's winking at you. What's the problem? And this, I've had this for many, many years. And it is absolutely beautiful. And now everybody's waiting for me to drop this, right? It is absolutely in mint. I would call this near mint at least, if not mint. Oops. So side 1 has Do It Again and Dallas. Side 2 has Haitian Divorce and Sail the Waterway. And I think, you know, these guys are so critical of their earlier material, but I think Dallas and Sail the Waterway, I think both of those songs are really nice tunes, man. I love them. But you can't tell them that. They're not listening. Okay, so there you go. There's that. And then there's, of course, Asia. Good Lord, what a beautiful album cover. And what a great album. So, nice gatefold pressing. There to give you some notes so you know what's going on and tell you all kinds of stuff. And the inner sleeve. All right. Inner sleeve has the lyrics and the credits so you know who's playing on everything. And who's on here? Who's on bass? Chuck Rainey. He's all over this album. Walter Becker's on Deacon Blues, but I think it's Chuck Rainey on everything else, is it? Yes. Yes. And Chuck Rainey's absolutely brilliant. You also have on some guitar, you have Dean Parks. He plays on I Got the News. And I think that might be all, that might be it. He plays on I Got the News, but Chuck Rainey plays bass on 6 of the 7 tunes on here. Deacon Blues is the one tune he doesn't play on. And let me say, what you ought to do is, if you like this album and you want to hear some stories about it, check out this lady's music and chat channel on YouTube, Oceana Sheen, and look for Chuck Rainey and Dean Parks. They actually came on a few times to talk about different projects alone and then together. You might want to check out the stories that they have to tell about Steely Dan sessions, and you know, about this particular album, in particular this album. I'll leave a link so that you can find Shueh-li Ong's channel, and then you can check out some of those music and chat shows, because they really were fascinating, and they are a lot of fun to just listen to and hear what they have to say. You know, some war stories. They talk about other, you know, they talk about things in general, and then they talk about specific tracks and specific performances on this album. Of course, it's a nice red vinyl record, and it is another Canadian pressing. So, so there you go. All right. This is probably, arguably, well, I don't know. I guess you could say that this is my favorite Steely Dan album. I mean, the music on here is just fantastic. And I do happen to have a 12-inch, a British single. I believe this is a British pressing. Let's double check that. Yes, of course it is. From Asia. You get Deacon Blues on side 1 and Josie on side 2. Again, nice and crisp, and you get one song on each side, so you know that the fidelity, you know that the music coming out of these grooves is gonna like hit your ears, and it's gonna sound pretty damn good. All right, so there you go. This album, I mean this record cover is in great condition. Real nice. I like that they use that blue instead of red. I would have expected it to be red simply because it is red on the album, but I love this blue, black and blue cover. Man. I enjoy a lot of simple things. This may be one of them. And it's the same thing on both sides, basically. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. And here is Steely Dan's greatest hits. Who doesn't, probably, if this isn't in like just about every collection on the planet. I mean, really. So this is a Canadian pressing. And of course, you know what that means. That means, well, you get this cool inner sleeve that I don't use because I use this one. And here you go, do it again. Do it again, Reeling in the Years, My Old School in Bodhisattva on side 1. Showbiz Kids, East St. Louis, Toodaloo. Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Pretzel Logic, Any Major Dude on side 2. Right? This is a great album to have, man. If you just want to hear some of the hits, it's great to have, but you're definitely going to want to have it for what's on record too, which is, oh, and then you get this insert. It's kind of cool, man. Artsy stuff. Of course, it's yellow. You knew it was. And then you get on side 3, Here at the Western World. Here at the Western World is almost exclusively on here. You can pick it up on another compilation album. So Here at the Western World, great song, which I believe was recorded during the either the Asia sessions or the album before that. And you get Black Friday, Black Sneakers. I'm sorry, Bad Sneakers, Black Friday and Bad Sneakers, at Dr. Wu and Haitian Divorce. And then on side 4 you get Kid Charlemagne, The Fez, Peg and Josie. Peg and Josie. Josie and Peg. But Here at the Western World is an absolutely beautiful track. It's hard to believe they kept that off an album, but thank God they included it here. And you have a reason to pick this up, for sure, right? If you're a Steely Dan fan. There. And then the last of the classic 70s Steely Dan period. Of course, this is 1980. So, Gaucho, of course. Yeah, a lot of people think that this is pretty sterile. Well, you know, I think there's a lot of good music on here. Babylon Sisters is a great tune, and that's on here. Babylon Sisters opens the album, and then you have Hey 19, and that was a hit. Babylon Sisters got a lot of airplay too, as an album track. Glamour Profession's cool, 7.5 minutes long. And you flip it over and you get 4 more tunes. You get Gaucho, Time Out of Mind, which was another great album track that got some airplay. Time Out of Mind, My Rival, and Third World Man. Okay, so the 2 last songs on the second side start to slow down a little bit, I suppose, but they don't kill the album, I don't think. Again, you get Chuck Rainey on some bass parts anyway. Yeah, he's on at least 2. Walter Becker's on bass sometimes too. Anthony Jackson plays some bass on here too as well. So you get, I mean, you know how these guys work. They get some guys, and sometimes they decide he's the right guy for the job, and sometimes they say, maybe not this guy, maybe we'll get this other guy, and they get a different guy, and then it works. Finally they get it. Finally they nail it down. You know how it works. If you're Steely Dan fans, you know how it works. All right. I gotta show you these 2 compilations. This one, Gold, Steely Dan Gold. This is a British pressing. Got a little wrinkle in that cover. I hate that. And as you can see, there's a 4-track EP included in this package, and that's why I wanted to get this. I always like to get these British imports, but if there's an extra record, I always like to pick those up because I dig having these special packages. Here is the 4-track EP. Do It Again, Reeling in the Years, and that's Gold. And Ricky Don't Lose That Number and Haitian Divorce. There you go, right? So to have it on 45, as long as the record's in really good shape, it's gonna sound awesome. Well, as long as it's well mastered too, and properly pressed album, of course. That's all very important. Of course, here is the actual album. Of course, it's not on ABC, it's on MCA. Yes. Yeah. And you get 4 songs on each side here. But, great album. Steely Dan Gold. go. So I wanted to show you this one, but now I'm going to show you something new that I added to my collection. And it actually is the same album, but it is a German pressing. The expanded edition includes 4 additional recordings, over 60 minutes worth of music. Now, how do the Germans do that? How do you put an hour's worth of music on an album and make it sound good? Well, I don't know how they do it, but they did it. It sounds good enough to me. Hello. And here's what the record looks like. Steely Dan Gold. This is the German MCA expanded release, and you got 6 songs. Six tracks on one side, and then you flip it over and you got 6 more tracks. And what songs do you get added? On side 1 you get FM, the album version of FM, and you get Bodhisattva live. It's like another 13 minutes almost. You flip it over and you get Black Cow, King of the World, Babylon Sisters, and Here at the Western World. There you go. There's your Western World. Like I said, it was on another compilation, and that's this. And if you're lucky enough to have this German pressing, you also get Century's End. You get Donald Fagen's track Century's End, and you get True Companion from the heavy metal soundtrack, which I used to have actually for that one song, and then I was running out of room, so that's one of the ones that had to go. I had it on CD, and so I let go of the soundtrack album. It might be somewhere in a box, but I think I actually let go of it. I'll tell you, this record cover is in really good shape. Whoever had this took good care of it. All right, see what I'm saying? It's nice. You know, being a record collector, I'm concerned about these sorts of things. Is there a bend in this cover? Is it torn? Is there crap on it? No crap. It's in great condition. A couple of pops and ticks. Not really noisy at all. It's actually really good shape. And so I'm a very happy and very proud owner of this German import. So, oh yeah, here. Another album that came out, or another 4-track EP. Now, this 4-track EP is almost exactly the same as the bonus EP in Steely Dan Gold, the British Steely Dan Gold. All right. I don't know if it looks exactly the same, but it's the same songs on, the same order. All right, so, but I did like the 12-inch sleeve, and since I collect that kind of thing, there you go. There it is. Right? And there that is. So it's beautiful. And then have Steely Dan FM, 3-track single, FM, static at all. On the A side, I believe the yeah, this is this version is the one that you would hear all the time with a guitar solo. The B side has the reprise of No Static of the reprise of FM. It's 2 minutes 53 seconds, and it is the tail end of it, and it's the sax solo. So there you go. And East St. Louis Toodaloo is the second track on side 2. But how nice. I like all these 12-inch EPs with all this great music on it, and then you know you want to hear it, and time for the glue. Wow. The glue, I'm telling you, what is with the glue from the 70s and the 80s? What is with glue that holds these things together, and it doesn't work all the time? So I'll have that sticking out. Aha! And here is Record Store Days re-release, Two Against Nature. I did not have this because I went and got the CD when this came out, of course, and so nice. Get this, and you get the words on this side, so it's nice. And then the records. It's actually a 3-sided album. So, all right, side 1, side 2, and these are great frickin' tunes, man. This was a really good album, and is a really good album. It's still, like I like to say, it still was. Yeah, it's a great record, man. Here's record 2, side 3. You get 3 tunes. And you get, if I can hold that up just right. Well, doesn't matter really. So you get an etching. It's really isn't much there. So let's face it, side 3 is the important side here, not side 4. So let's just put it back. Yeah, this had a few pops and ticks. A little bit noisier than I was expecting. A little bit. Not too bad. It's still very listenable. All right. There you go. All right. And then here is Everything Must Go. Everything. All right. Single album. Everything Must Go. Yeah, this was actually a little bit quieter. thankfully. Sometimes I think that's just random. It's like, well, sometimes I guess maybe it's not. Sometimes they just do a shit job. Here's the lyric insert with the two gentlemen at hand, and there you go. Nice. Okay. So, nice to have a full collection of Steely Dan studio material on LP. I love it. Also picked up Northeast Corridor, a live show. This is actually not one show. This was like at the Mohegan Sun Arena, Beacon Theater, the Orpheum Theater, and live from the Met in Philly. I guess they just picked the best performances, or the ones that they liked the best, and put them on here. Produced by Patrick Dillett and Donald Fagen. In memory of Walter Becker. Yep. 2021 this came out. The first live Steely Dan album in over 25 years. There you go. It took so long. I have 3 live shows from '74 on CD that I scored them. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, that's funny. I have another album, Steely Dan album, and I can't. Wow, where could it be? I have another live album, and I don't know where it is. Yeah, I got sloppy when I was moving my stuff around, I guess. Yeah, I definitely have another one. So, anyway, I do have a few more albums. This is Rosie Vela. And what made this special is that back in 80-something, maybe it was 88 or 86. Let's see when this came out. Sometime in the 80s, Donald and Walter got together with this lady to help produce her album. And so the two guys who hadn't been together for a few years took a sort of a sabbatical. They ended up getting together on this 1986 album. And I'll be honest with you, I can't really listen to this album. I'm not impressed. No offense, Rosie, but I just really wasn't into it. So, yeah, Donald actually plays synthesizer, and Walter Becker plays guitar. So the two guys were here and playing this music, playing instruments on this lady's album here, but it's not Steely Dan music, so yeah. But I'm keeping it anyway. Maybe one of these days I'll have to throw it on and just check it out again and see what I can hear. And this is a radio show, Legends of Rock, Broadcast dates were for November 16th through the 22nd, back in 1987, like just a year after they did this lady's album. There you go. And I've listened to this, and it's interesting because you get to hear these guys talk about what they're doing at the time, what's going on, tour update, blah, blah, blah. But you get to hear like all kinds of commercials, like, you know, U.S. Army and Wrigley Spearmint Gum and Budweiser, of course. So, but, you know, there was some interesting stuff in here. It's a 2-record set, but you have all that other crap on here, so. But, you know, it's in my collection. All right, and then there's Donald Fagen's solo output. And of course, The Night Fly is an amazing album, a really great record on Warner Brothers. Here's the lyrics inner sleeve, and this one I don't have any. What do I have in here? Here, right back to bed for another 11 years then. So this is a this is like a magazine article on his next album, which was had Trans Island Skyway. What is it? Kamakiriad. Kamakiriad. So if I ever get the album, I could stick this with that. Meanwhile, it stays with The Night Fly, and I'll put this back in here. Wow, what a great album this is. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's just great. And, you know, he was growing up in, you know, like Passaic, New Jersey or someplace, and listening to Gene Shepard. And, you know, Gene Shepard was such a great storyteller, and sometimes you would get a very positive feeling about what was going on just from listening to Gene Shepard talk. So maybe that's where IGY came from, because it's so damn positive. Of course, today, nowadays, everything's a goddamn mess. I don't know what the hell's up or down, and it's all political bullshit. It's ridiculous. So, but anyway, here is Century's End by Donald Fagen. It's a 12-inch single, and on side 1 you get the full version. Side 2 you get a single edit. They chop out about a minute, a little over a minute, and you get Shanghai Confidential. So there you go. This is a German 12-inch single. And in absolutely perfect condition. It's so quiet. It's nice. It's nice to have it on a 12-inch single. It's real clean. Oh, here. Ah, that's right. It's not a Steely Dan album. It's here. Let's do it in the right order. Here is Sunken Condos. It's the only other Donald Fagen album that I have. I'd love to get my hands on Kamakiriad, and I would love to get my hands on Morph the Cat, for sure. But here's Sunken Condos. Sunken Condos is a double album, and here's the lyric insert that comes with it. How nice. When I bought this, I thought I was getting a clear vinyl album, and when it arrived, I noticed it was not clear vinyl. It was very black like this. And I said, dude, what happened? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, it's black. So he cut me some slack. He rebated me a little bit of cash, and I kept the black pressing because, let's face it, nothing wrong with going back to black. I'm going to flip this over because that's what I do. Side one. All right. Here, let's go ahead and just show off the cover. All right. Sunken Condos. There you go. There's the artwork for this one. All right. Beautiful album cover, beautiful pressing. Makes me want to spin it, actually. Yes. Beautiful. And put it back, put it away. And here is what I mistakenly thought was a Steely Dan album, but it's, of course, it's the Nightfly Live. Another, I think that this was a Record Store Day thing, was it? Acclaimed solo album performed live by the Steely Dan Band in 2019. Yeah. IGY and New Frontier. So positive, such positive songs. Really, like, life's gonna be great. And now, like, after this stupid pandemic and all kinds of shit happened, and now there's all this political bullshit going on. What a drag. So anyway, here is, so what do? When life's a drag, you put on a record and just dig it. That's what I do. All right, so this is awesome. I mean, you get the whole, album performed live. So you get to hear all these great tracks performed live by the band, and it's good stuff. And here is your insert. All right. Awesome. Let's burn through the 45s real quick because there's only a little more than a handful. Here's Reeling in the Years. And only a fool would say that. This is on an old ABC single. And I love this. And it's in pretty good shape too. It's really pretty clean. But look at the label. I think that's awesome. ABC Blocks. I mean, that's, I don't know, I just love it. I just think it's so cool. And it's actually in a company sleeve too, which I like. ABC Records. There you go. There you go. Here is a jukebox single but it's not in one of those cool sleeves that shows the album cover, like in some kind of like red or yellow. It's in this factory sleeve. I don't know if this came with one of those cool sleeves, but anyway, this has My Old School on side 1, on side A, side A, right? And then on the B side you have Pearl of the Quarter and King of the World. So there you go. Play it at 33 and it'll sound right. All right. Yeah, my Steely Dan 45 collection, there's not much to it. Kid Charlemagne, white label pressing, in a factory sleeve. Here's FM on a 7-inch MCA 45. And then the reprise is on the B side. So, all right. And here is Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Now this is a repress from, what year was this? I don't know when this was pressed actually. But it's a fine picture sleeve with Ricky Don't Lose That Number, and Any Major Dude Will Tell You. And not only is it on color vinyl, but it's got that really great custom label, which always is cool. Same thing on both sides. All right. Cool, right? Pretty cool. I think this came out in 1978. Obviously a re-release. And this is, then I have a couple of Donald Fagen singles, and that's it, man. I have IGY. IGY and Walk Between the Raindrops on Warner Brothers. Right? And get back in there, why you? And then I have Century's End and Shanghai Confidential. This is a domestic pressing. And that's all it is. There it is. That's it. That's everything. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. God knows I love owning it. I paid enough for it. But anyway, that's my vinyl Steely Dan collection. Everybody have a great day, or have a great lunch. Have a wonderful evening. Have a pate. Have a, or go take a nap. I don't know. Or go to work. Whatever the hell it is that you got to do. But have a great day. See ya.